Step into the Oracle Parlor, a podcast where those interested in witchcraft, psychic abilities, ghosts, and all things paranormal come to sip and spill the magical tea. This parlor is a space to grow by maintaining our curiosity over fear when it comes to the spooky and the paranormal. I'm your host, Jenny, otherwise known as Phantasma Witch. I'm a previous visual storytelling artist from animation, now full-time psychic witch, who is getting her MA in psychology to become a licensed therapist. Every other episode, I will share my paranormal experiences, different witchy experiences on a variety of topics, while other episodes, I will be talking with witchy guests of all backgrounds, from writers to artists to well-known social media witches, so we can learn about their practices and how they grew into their personal power. So get cozy and grab your tea. It's time to get mystical. Hello and welcome back, my magical, mystical friends, to yet another episode of a energy forecast for the month ahead. This month we are looking at August. So if you are new, hello and welcome. Think of this episode as your companion piece to your other astrological resources, except for I'm not using astrology in this episode or any episodes because I'm not an astrologer. What I'm using is a combination of just tapping into the energy through my psychic senses, my oracle deck, and some tarot cards. So what I like to do is I like to sit in the energy and look at the overall month ahead, week by week, energetically kind of relay that back to you, what I saw and sensed or heard in any kind of way. And then I move on to the cards that I pulled and reflect on how these two things go together. So that way you know the forecast of the energetic themes for this upcoming month. And just like a weather forecast, you can use this to help yourself prepare for what may lie ahead for you. And remembering that just like the weather, it can always change, but at least you came prepared with an umbrella in case you needed it. So for the month of August, we had some really interesting things come through for the overall theme. So overall, the things that I was kind of sensing was I had seen in my mind's eye a letter opener, a knife, blade, some sort of sword. And what I got was cutting through the confusion. And when I had seen this, I also got this sense of um, like swirling air. And so, of course, with this swirling air and with the swords, and the letter opener specifically, communication, cutting through to receive, to understand. I was also thinking about the tarot suit of swords and how that really feels like a big theme for us. And I heard clearing of the dust and cleansing. And I saw what looked like a little dust devil, if you've ever seen them. They're like these little mini tornadoes that just pick up all the dust on the side of the road. And that's kind of what I saw in my mind's eye. So it really is about communication and clarity and clearing out all the cobwebs, all the dust that has been built up, that has been stagnating. So all this stagnant energy, all this misunderstanding, all of this uncertainty kind of gets blown away, and we kind of get this clarity moment. So that was a big thing that was coming through for this month. And then before I got into the week by week, I got one last really interesting visual of some grapes and a viper in the vines of the grapes. Now, if you couldn't tell, I love snakes. I think they're wonderful. So to me, snakes personally represent something that's different than what I received with this. Snakes to me remind me of my childhood, and I love snakes. But in this sense, the viper was very much representing this kind of very big, scary thing that was surrounding these grapes, that we didn't really see the viper. In this imagery, in this visual that I was seeing, I saw the grapes first, But it was almost like I was only allowed to take one grape at a time because of the viper, and because this viper was very ominous and scary. And it's not saying that something ominous and scary is going to happen, but it's this idea that this visual, what it made me feel was, it's hard to appreciate the gems, the small things, when it feels like there's something hanging over our head. It feels like something is waiting to bite us in the butt. That's what this visual made me feel. So this month is very much going to be, you know, the guidance there is really like try to enjoy the small positive moments when they do come up. Try to take a moment to have that appreciation, have that um, gratitude, which is so difficult in what's going on in the world, because that's kind of what the viper to me felt like it was representing. It was like everything's on fire. How are we supposed to find the little gems that keep us going, that keep us hydrated, that keep us saying, oh, that was worth that bite, even though there was that scary thing right there. So that is something to kind of keep in mind as you move through the month, is not letting the big thing overwhelm you, still finding those little gems. So week by week, we have the first week is really a shift. It's a movement, it's a clearing. And what I had seen essentially was that little dirt devil again kicking up dust, but I also was seeing somebody taking boxes and moving from one spot to the other. Like they were just picking up a box here and putting it there, and picking up a box and putting it there. And it was shifting this movement in this transition, this phase, this liminal in between, almost like if you're moving from one apartment to another apartment, you're picking up from here and going to there. This isn't literally saying you are moving, maybe you are, but this is more about being able to kind of let go of the older things, again, the clearing out, the releasing of things that you don't need, and moving into a new direction. So the beginning of the month of August is really about maybe shifting focuses, changing the direction you were moving in. Maybe you were kind of going in this direction with your job or your day to day, and then something comes up and you're like, wait, this is a better opportunity, or this provides more for me in some way that I hadn't seen before. But the thing that came up around this as well is focus on your own stuff. Focus on your own boxes. Don't be out there trying to move other people's boxes for them. That's not your job to do the work of other people. So this is going to be one of those times where either you're focusing on moving your own things, or you may get caught up on trying to do it for somebody else. Focus on what you can do for yourself at this moment. That doesn't mean don't do community effort. That doesn't mean don't support other people. No. What we're saying is don't let somebody come in and, like, again, if we're using this moving metaphor, you know, sometimes we have a friend who has a truck who is willing to be like, hey, I don't mind taking my truck to your place and helping you move boxes. Cool. If you want to be that friend, fantastic. But there's a difference between that and somebody who is putting off moving their boxes, like a roommate who hasn't like moved their boxes when they were supposed to, and then you end up doing it because you're like, well, they're never going to get around to it, and I guess I'll just have to do it. Big difference. You can be the friend with the truck. You can be the one who helps the other person, but don't take on all of their work. Don't take on all of their responsibility. That's their responsibility. That's their job to sort through their stuff. You can't be sorting through other people's stuff for them. You can assist them. So in the beginning of this month, focus on sorting through your stuff and assisting those who may need help without making it your job, without making it your purpose. Doing it in a way that is considerate of what you need as well as what the other person needs. And sometimes the other people in this situation, they need to figure it out for themselves. They need to be able to sort it out by themselves. And if you step in and completely do it for them, then they're not going to actually learn how to take on that process, right? So that's the week one thing that came up. For week two, what I saw was a fig beetle on its back. I love fig beetles. If you don't know what a fig beetle is, if you don't have a bug phobia, look them up. They're gorgeous. They're in the scarab family, if I'm not mistaken, and they're these beautiful iridescent. They're about like an inch big. They're if not a little smaller, and they are iridescent blue green. They're super beautiful. But the thing about fig beetles, if you've ever been in an area that has fig beetles, like I'm in Los Angeles and we always get them at this time of year, they are clumsy and they are noisy and they bump into everything. And when I say they're clumsy, I mean they look like when they're flying, it looks like they're intoxicated. Like it looks like they're just swerving all over the place. And the reason why fig beetles do this, a little TMI on fig beetles here, but it has to do with the theme. But fig beetles can't really control their flight pattern. And so you often see them in situations where people are really scared because they're very loud. They make a loud buzzing sound, but they can't control their flight pattern. And so people often get scared of them. They'll usually try to hurt them, kill them, swat them away. And oftentimes they end up on their backs and they can't get up. And this is what I was seeing was this fig beetle on its back. It was struggling and it was misunderstood because the fig beetle does not bite, it doesn't have a stinger, but because it sounds loud, people are often very scared of it. So this week two is all about that misunderstanding and stumbling through things in a clumsy manner. So that means that mistakes are going to be made, but that doesn't mean that they're intentionally harmful. And this could be either side of the coin. Remember, everything that I talk about in these readings is either side of the coin, and you'll only kind of know what side you're on that coin once you get to that point, right? So either this could mean that a situation in your life pops up where there's a misunderstanding, there's some sort of clunky, clumsy thing that happens that you're just kind of stumbling through. So the point, or that maybe somebody is doing that in your life, but the point is that it's not done to be intentionally harmful. It may, but the point is to be critical and ask yourself that question of, is this intentional? Was this intentionally done to harm me? Or am I having a reactionary response to it? And the reverse can be true. Maybe you're stumbling through something, maybe there was a misunderstanding, a mistake was made, and the other person took it in a way that was a misunderstanding of taking it personally or feeling harmed by it when you had not intended that harm. And so it's important to be clear to other people and to yourself. I'm, you know, I didn't intend for that harm, or I feel XYZ way about this situation and I just need to clear the air. That's what week two is going to be all about. It's going with the flow and being okay with the mistakes and the stumbling and all of that. It's okay. It happens. That is the key for week two. Now, week three, oh my gosh, as soon as I tapped into week three's energy, it hit me like a wave. Like if you've ever been at the ocean and you're playing around in the tides, and then a giant wave that you weren't expecting comes and knocks you on your butt, that's what week three felt like energetically for me. And what I had seen was a cave. And I felt this unknown and this darkness. And so I was going, okay, so does this mean that there's going to be some sort of unknown element? Like, what does this mean? And what I got in response was that we can't see the path forward, but we have to have faith that the darkness holds the unseen. I thought that was really interesting. The darkness holds the unseen. So typically we often hear people talking about being a light and illuminating the darkness to really see what's there. But this was saying, no, 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 the darkness actually holds that unseen. And so when I kind of tapped deeper into that, what I got was the sensation. Um, if you've ever been like getting ready for bed and you turn off the lights to crawl into your bed and you can't see anything. But then the longer that you lay in your bed or sit in that dark room, the more that your eyes adjust and suddenly you can start to see the room. That is what this week 3 is about. It's a week that holds so much awareness, so much insight, so much clarity. It's like a vibrant aha moment, but that only comes when we are sitting in the darkness of it, the unknown of it. It's this really weird kind of contradictory idea of through the unknown comes the insight, through comes the answer. So week 3 is about receiving whatever that is, getting the clarity, getting the information, but it's going to come in a way that may not be expected, that may be really um suddenly out of like left field almost. Lastly, we have week 4. And the first thing that I heard with week 4 was full steam ahead. And then I got a visual of the Knight of Wands, which has this energy of like gusto, of plowing ahead, of jumping into it, of blazing their path forward. And so this last week of August may lead to leaping before looking. So this is an invitation to double check. However, I got a very, very clear, energetic read that just because you want to leap before you, or you want to check things before you leap, it does not mean to stop or slow down. It means move forward with purpose and intention. So don't just plow forward without an idea, without a plan, without a something in mind. If you're just running forward, it's not the best idea. So this is saying if you're going to do that, do so with thoughtful intention, with plan, with the clarity of, okay, I'm doing this. I know where I'm going. I have to go forward. Because it's really going to be, week 4 is going to really be a moving fast. So things may be moving fast around you, and you may be trying to keep up with that pacing. But it's, again, it's making sure that if you do, you go, okay, what needs to be done? What can I do? How do I get things in order? This could be things coming at you fast and you having to um, navigate in a way that goes with the flow of the movement of things rather than trying to fight the movement of it, if that makes sense. So it's sort of like I literally just got think fast. It's like when somebody, when you were a kid and your friend says think fast and then throws an item at you, and you literally have to, in the moment, just go with it and do your best, whether that's dodge out of the way, try to catch it and fail, catch it and succeed. What is important is being able to move at the speed that things are moving around you, or following your, that gut feeling of, I have to go, I have to do it, I have to move forward, I have to, but doing it thoughtfully. So that is the energetic forecast. Next up, we have the tarot cards. But before we get into that, I just want to say make sure to leave a review. It really helps the podcast. It really helps us find new people. Share it with people you think might benefit from this kind of energetic forecast. And make sure to follow me on Patreon, where this podcast will be posted every time it comes out, so you'll never miss it, plus other goodies as well. So let's get into the tarot. So the first card that I have pulled, and I haven't looked at any of the cards yet, they're literally just sitting here face down on my desk. So the first card that I have pulled is just the overall general energetic forecast summarized in a major arcana card from the beautiful Japanese deck that I always like to use in these readings. All my decks are posted in the description below. So let's take a look. We have the World card. Okay, so the World card this month, the month of August, is really gonna be again, it's a lot. There's a lot of different things going on, and it's about being able to move with these beginnings, these endings, these things coming through in a cycle and things moving kind of fast paced, kind of like what we were talking about, especially at the end of the month. But this is also, I'm feeling really called to kind of what I was talking about of sitting in the darkness and that the darkness holds the unknown. This is part of that, where it's almost like things that happened previously in previous months or weeks kind of come back around. Things come back around in a way that kind of connect in a way that if we weren't aware of it, we wouldn't have even noticed it because the connection is there, but we have to pay attention to it. So with this, the additional thing that's coming through for the overall general month is kind of be aware of how these things connect to past events or feelings or circumstances or situation that may be reappearing in some sort of cyclical symbolic way for you. So how can we learn from that cycle? We're coming to some sort of either beginning or ending within that cycle that's like repeating in some way. And I'm just not realizing as I'm talking about this that I believe August is eclipse season. So this makes a lot of sense. And again, for anyone who isn't aware, I don't look at the astrology for the month ahead before I do these readings. I wait until after I do them because I like to do this reading completely unfiltered, like influence, not influenced by other things. So, yeah, so this feels very connected to that kind of like eclipse energy to me. The next up, I have pulled three cards for just the kind of like um general guidance as we move through this month. This is using the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So, first card we have is the Knight of Pentacles. Next card we have the Devil reversed. And then last we have the Tower reversed. Okay, this is really interesting. Again, it definitely carries that eclipse energy. So with the Knight of Pentacles being here, this is really an invitation to again be mindful of your movements. So even though I was talking about this Knight of Wands energy, that's the energy of wanting to move forward, wanting to take the lead, wanting to go forward, but that the guidance, as we talked about earlier, is about going slowly, making sure we have a plan, making sure that we're doing so intentionally and thoughtfully, and that's what the Knight of Pentacles is here to do. The Devil reversed and the Tower reversed are really, it's funny because the tower reverse is bringing to mind kind of what we talked about with the fig beetle. It's the kind of messiness of the aftermath, but it's not like intentional. So, for example, if we look at the tower upright, the lightning bolt striking this is what's causing the tower to fall apart and for things to just be a mess, right? Well, it's not like if we're reading the tower in this way, it's not like the lightning bolt intentionally was like, how dare this tower? Now, of course, we could look at it from a Tower of Babel point of view, in which this could be God, but we're sticking to kind of like the energetic themes that have already come up and seem to be recurring. It's almost like just this force of nature, right? And again, the force of nature of the fig beetle is that it can't fly very well at all. And so again, with the tower reverse being here, it's that messy aftermath of the clunkiness of the thing that just kind of happened that was not intentional and not within our control, and we have to deal with that aftermath of it. And with the devil reversed, this really speaks to what we were talking about with that darkness holding the unknown. Because the devil card reversed is about being able to feel liberated from new insights of the things that were uncomfortable or pressuring us or keeping us in a box in some way, this scary thing, and then suddenly we go, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I don't need this. I can walk away from this. So overall, these kind of guidance cards are echoing with a lot of the things that came up energetically. So it is important to be able to sit in the darkness, even though it's uncomfortable, and have that awareness enough to say, ah, I see now. I'm actually not chained to this big, scary devil monster. I can actually pull the chains right off and walk away. I don't have to be in this situation, or I can navigate this situation in a way I hadn't expected, or I now have new insights now that I'm sitting here and looking at things closely. I can see that the chain is loose, and now I know what to do, whatever that may be for you. And then lastly, I like to pull from my Oracle of the Radiant Sun deck as the deeper guidance, the deeper message that has come through for us. And we have the Riches card. And so this card is all about, because it's this very Saturn card, it's all about being able to get intentionally with get intentional with the structure of things, with the rootedness of things, with being able to especially with the Riches card, it's so much about the logistics of things, but the intuitive as well. So I always like to say when it comes to teaching intuition classes, we have, the two different sides of the brain. So we have the logical brain and then we have the intuitive brain. We have the creative brain and then so it's about bringing those two worlds together. It's about being able to kind of get this clarity through this balance. And the other thing that I'm really being drawn towards is the big open sky. So this is something that I like to teach when it comes to reading cards is when we're drawn to something in the card, that means that something's really trying to send us that message. So for me right now, I'm really being drawn to the clouds up ahead in the sky. And so the thing that I am kind of resonating with that is it reminds me of what I had seen energetically of this kind of like dirt devil, of the clearing out. So this is really like a clearing out and getting grounded and balanced. So this is the deep message that really needs to be heard for the month of August. It's the clearing out to get grounded and balanced. So asking yourself how you can move through this month doing those things, keeping that in mind no matter what comes up for you. So with all that being said, I hope that the reading resonated with you. Definitely make sure to re-listen if you haven't already. Check out last month's episode, see how that may have played out for you, and then take notes on this episode, see how it plays out or changes for you as you progress through the month. I hope that you all enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed tapping into the energies for you all. Remember, please, if you can, rate, share the podcast episode, follow me on Patreon. It is so helpful. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me in the parlor for this episode. If you want more psychic magical tips, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Phantasma Witch. FANTASMAWITCH. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon, where I have a Discord community. I do Q&As, live classes, workshops, and more. To book a reading or consultation directly with me, you can go to my website, www.phantasmawitch.com. All of these links can be found in the episode description. And please, if you enjoyed the show, make sure you go leave a rating, leave a review, share it with others. It really helps the show to reach new listeners if you take a moment to do that, and it is sincerely appreciated. Shout out to the artist Cat Lines, who helped me to redesign the podcast logo to the beautiful magical teacup you see today. See you, mystical friends, in the parlor next time.